I watched my husband lie to my face for 2 days straight, and when I found him with another woman on social media, I didn't cry, I didn't scream. I just started planning the quietest, most devastating exit of his life. I stood in the doorway of what used to be our bedroom, watching him sleep like he didn't have a care in the world. His phone was face down on the nightstand, always face down now. The morning light came through the blinds in stripes, cutting across his face, and I thought about how easy it would be to just shake him awake and ask him, "Who is she?" But I didn't. Instead, I turned around, walked down the hallway of our 4-bedroom colonial in Naperville, Illinois, and I made him the same breakfast I'd been making for 19 years. Scrambled eggs, turkey bacon, whole wheat toast, orange juice in the glass with the little chip on the rim that he always grabbed without thinking. I set his plate down gently, and I smiled. Because 2 days ago, when he told me he was going on a boys' trip to Lake Geneva with his college buddies, I believed him. I kissed him goodbye in our driveway. I told him to be safe. I even packed him snacks for the drive, those stupid kind bars he likes, the ones with dark chocolate. When his phone went dark for 48 hours, I told myself it was fine. He was disconnecting, bonding with the guys, getting away from work stress. I told myself a lot of things. Until Saturday night when I was scrolling through Instagram in bed, and I saw Brian's story. Brian, his best friend since sophomore year at Indiana University. Brian, who never remembered to mute his stories. There he was, my husband, Jason Mitchell Parker, 46 years old, father of 2, sitting in some dimly lit bar with exposed brick walls and those trendy Edison bulbs hanging everywhere, a craft beer in one hand, and a girl on his lap. Not a woman, a girl, mid-20s maybe, long dark hair, crop top, laughing with her head thrown back while his hand rested on her waist like it belonged there. The timestamp said 11:47 p.m., Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. I stared at that screen until my eyes burned. I didn't cry, I didn't call him, I didn't even text. I just sat there in our king-sized bed, the one we'd bought at that Labor Day sale at Pottery Barn 5 years ago, and I felt something inside me go completely, perfectly still. That's when I started planning. My name is Diane Catherine Russo, and I'm 52 years old. I've been married to Jason for 19 years, together for 22. We have 2 kids, Marcus, 17, who just got accepted to Michigan State with a partial scholarship, and Lily, 14, who's in her freshman year at Naperville Central and wants to be a veterinarian. I'm a part-time medical office coordinator at a family practice in Lisle. I work 28 hours a week because Jason and I agreed, years ago, when the kids were small, that I'd be the one with the flexible schedule, the one who could leave early for parent-teacher conferences, the one who could take off when someone had strep throat or needed to be driven to soccer practice or had a meltdown about a science project due the next morning. I gave up my full-time position at Northwestern Memorial Hospital when Marcus was 2. I gave up my benefits, my 401k contributions, my shot at becoming an office manager. Jason's career came first. That was the deal he climbed, I supported. And I never regretted it, not for a single second. Until I saw that girl on his lap. When Jason came home Sunday night, I was in the kitchen unloading the dishwasher. He walked in smelling like beer and hotel soap, dropped his duffel bag by the door and kissed the top of my head. "Hey babe, missed you." I closed the dishwasher, turned around, looked right at him. "How was the trip?" "Good, relaxing. We just hung out, played some poker, watched the Bears game, you know how it is." He said it so easily, like lying was a reflex. "Did you get my texts?" I asked. He pulled out his phone, glanced at it. "Oh yeah, sorry, service was terrible up there, I barely had signal." "That's weird," I said. "Brian's Instagram seemed to work fine." His face didn't move, but his eyes did, just a flicker, a half-second of panic. "What do you mean?" I smiled, nothing, just saying, "Glad you had fun." Then I walked past him, went upstairs and locked myself in the bathroom. I sat on the edge of the tub and I finally let myself cry. Not because I was heartbroken, not yet, but because I realized I'd been living with a stranger, a man who could look me in the eyes and perform love like it was a script. And I didn't know how long it had been going on. I didn't confront him, not that night, not the next morning, not all week. Instead, I watched. I paid attention to things I'd stopped noticing. The way he angled his phone away from me when he texted. The way he started going to the gym at weird hours, 9 p.m. on a Wednesday, really. The way he bought new cologne, expensive stuff, the kind he'd never worn before. He started dressing better for work. New shirts, a haircut that looked like he actually asked the barber for a style instead of just saying trim it up. And he was nicer to me. That's what made it worse. He was trying, compliments, flowers on Thursday for no reason, offering to take me to dinner at that Italian place I liked in downtown Naperville. Guilt flowers, guilt dinners, guilt affection. I smiled, I accepted, I played along. Because I wasn't ready yet. I needed to be sure, I needed to know everything, and I needed a plan that didn't just burn him, it had to protect me and the kids. So I started digging. I knew his passcode. He'd never changed it, his mom's birthday, 7/13. I waited until he was in the shower one night, grabbed his phone from the nightstand and opened it. His text messages were clean, too clean, nothing suspicious at all, which told me everything. He'd deleted them. But he forgot about his email, the one he never checks on his phone because he hates reading work emails after hours. I opened Gmail. There it was, a folder labeled travel receipts. Inside, confirmations from a boutique hotel in Lake Geneva. Not the Holiday Inn he told me he and the guys were splitting. A boutique hotel, the kind with a fireplace in the room and a clawfoot tub. Reservation for 2, check-in Friday, check-out Sunday. I took screenshots, I airdropped them to myself. I put his phone back exactly where I found it. Then I went downstairs and poured myself a glass of the Pinot Grigio I kept in the fridge for book club. I sat at the kitchen table in the dark, and I thought about everything I'd sacrificed. The career I'd paused, the body I'd grown 2 humans in, the friendships I'd let fade because I was too busy managing everyone else's life, the dreams I'd put on hold because we agreed that his job had to come first if we wanted to build the kind of life we had. The house, the vacations, the college funds. Oh God, the college funds. Marcus was supposed to start at Michigan State in the fall. We'd been saving since he was 3, a 529 plan, auto deposit every month. Jason managed it because he was better with investments. I pulled up the account online. I hadn't checked it in over a year. The balance was $14,000. It should have been close to $70,000. I stared at the screen. My hands were shaking so hard I had to put the laptop down. I went into our joint account, then our savings, then I checked the credit cards. Transfers, dozens of them, small at first, $500 here, $1,200 there, then bigger, $5,000, $8,000. All going into an account I didn't recognize. I called the bank the next morning, pretended I was confused about a transfer. The woman on the phone explained that the secondary account was opened 18 months ago, joint access, but only one name on the statements. Jason's. He'd been siphoning our son's college fund for a year and a half. For her. I didn't scream, I didn't throw anything, I didn't call my sister or my mom or my best friend Karen. I just sat in the Target parking lot after my shift, staring at the red bullseye on the building, and I made a decision. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't going to cry and ask him why I wasn't enough. I wasn't going to pick-me-dance my way through marriage counseling while he learned how to lie better. I was going to take everything he thought he had, and I was going to do it so quietly he wouldn't see it coming until it was too late. I started with a lawyer, not someone local. I drove 40 minutes to a firm in Oak Park that a woman from my mom's church had recommended after her own divorce. Her name was Angela Chen. Late 50s, sharp as a blade, she listened to everything, looked at my screenshots, pulled up Illinois divorce law on her computer. Financial infidelity, she said. Dissipation of marital assets. If you can prove he used joint funds or funds earmarked for the children for an extramarital affair, the court does not look kindly on that. What does that mean? I asked. She looked at me over her glasses. It means you're going to be just fine, Diane. We built the case. Quietly, I opened my own checking account at a different bank. I started redirecting my paycheck. I pulled every financial document we had, tax returns, mortgage statements, investment accounts, credit card bills. I printed everything. I documented his lies. Times he said he was working late, but his location showed he was at a hotel near O'Hare. Charges at jewelry stores I never saw jewelry from. Venmo payments to a woman named Sienna with a palm tree emoji next to her name. Angela told me to act normal, don't tip him off, let him think everything's fine. So I did. I cooked dinner, I asked about his day. I went to Lily's volleyball games and Marcus's college planning meetings. I smiled for the family photo we took at my mom's birthday dinner in October. I played the role of the wife who didn't know. And Jason never suspected a thing. November came. Thanksgiving was at our house like always. My mom, my older sister Renee and her husband Todd, they're two perfect kids who went to private school and played travel hockey. Renee has always been the golden child. Prettier, thinner, more successful. She's a pharmaceutical sales rep who makes twice what Jason and I make combined. She lives in Hinsdale in one of those houses that looks like it belongs in a magazine. Growing up, I was the responsible one. The one who helped Mom with the bills when Dad died. The one who got good grades but not a full ride. The one who got married young and started a family because that's what you were supposed to do. Renee got everything. The attention, the praise, the financial help when she wanted to start her business. When I asked Mom for help with Marcus's college fund after I found out what Jason did, she said, "Diane, you're a grown woman. You need to figure this out with your husband." But when Renee needed $15,000 for a down payment on her lake house, Mom refinanced her condo. I stopped expecting fairness from my family a long time ago. So when Renee made a comment at Thanksgiving about how nice it must be that I only work part-time, I just smiled and passed her the mashed potatoes. Jason squeezed my hand under the table, like he was proud of me for not snapping. I squeezed back, and I thought about the envelope in my purse. I filed the week after Thanksgiving. Angela submitted everything to the courthouse in DuPage County: petition for dissolution of marriage, division of assets, child support, spousal maintenance, and a motion to freeze all joint accounts pending the hearing. The papers were served to Jason at his office on a Tuesday afternoon. I know because Angela's process server texted me a photo of Jason signing for them. I wasn't home when he got back that night. I'd taken the kids to my mom's, told them we were having a surprise sleepover with Grandma because the furnace was acting up. Marcus looked at me weird. He's 17, he's not stupid. But he didn't ask questions. I drove back to the house alone around 8 p.m. Jason's car was in the driveway. Every light in the house was on. I walked in through the garage. He was sitting at the kitchen table. The papers were spread out in front of him. His face was red. His jaw was tight. He looked up at me. "What the hell is this, Diane?" I set my purse down on the counter. "I think it's pretty clear. You're divorcing me without even talking to me." I almost laughed. "Talking? You mean like how you talked to me before you started sleeping with someone else, or before you stole our son's college money?" His face went white. "That's what I thought," I said. "Diane, wait, let me explain." "No," my voice was calm, steady. "You don't get to explain, you don't get to make excuses, you don't get to beg me to stay so you can do this all over again in 2 years. I made a mistake." "You made a choice," I said. "Every time you lied, every time you transferred money, every time you looked me in the eyes and pretended we were fine, those were choices, Jason." He stood up. "So that's it, 20 years and you're just done." I looked at him, really looked at him. This man I'd loved since I was 30 years old. This man I'd built a life with. This man I'd trusted with everything. "Yeah," I said, "I'm done." I turned and walked upstairs. He didn't follow me. The next few weeks were brutal. Jason tried everything: apologies, flowers, a 10-page letter he left on my car windshield. He showed up at my work, he called my mom. He even tried to get Marcus to talk some sense into me. Marcus told him to leave me alone. Lily cried a lot. She didn't understand why Daddy had to move out, why we couldn't just work it out. I wanted to protect her from the truth, but I also wasn't going to lie. Sometimes I told her, People make choices that break the trust in a relationship, and when trust is broken, it's really, really hard to fix. Dad made some choices that hurt me, and I have to do what's best for me and for you and Marcus, even if it's hard. She hugged me. Are you okay, Mom? I kissed the top of her head. I will be, baby, I promise. The divorce took 4 months to finalize. In Illinois, there's a mandatory waiting period, but Angela pushed hard on the financials. Jason had to pay back every cent he'd taken from the college fund. The court ordered it. He had to take out a personal loan to cover it. I got the house. He got his $401K and his car and the responsibility for half the credit card debt he'd racked up on his affair. I got full physical custody. He got every other weekend and 1 weeknight dinner. And I got to keep my dignity. It's been 8 months since the divorce was finalized. Jason's living in a 2-bedroom apartment in Aurora with a roommate. Turns out Sienna, the girl from the Instagram story, broke up with him 2 weeks after I filed. Guess she wasn't interested in a middle-aged guy with child support payments and a tarnished reputation. Marcus is starting at Michigan State in 3 weeks. His dorm is all set. We drove up last weekend to buy sheets and a mini fridge and one of those bed risers so he can store stuff underneath. He hugged me in the Target parking lot and said, "Thanks for not giving up, Mom." I cried the whole drive home. Lily's doing better. She's in therapy. We both are, learning how to rebuild after betrayal, learning that it's okay to protect yourself, learning that love shouldn't cost you your peace. My mom still doesn't get it. She thinks I should have tried harder, that I gave up too easily. Renee told me at Christmas that I was brave. It was the first time she'd ever said anything like that to me. I didn't need her approval, but it felt good anyway. I'm not the same woman I was a year ago. I'm not softer, I'm not quieter, I'm not the one who shrinks herself to make space for everyone else. I take up space now, I speak up, I say no. I put myself first sometimes and I don't apologize for it. I've started running. I signed up for a 5K in the spring. I joined a book club that actually talks about the books. I'm taking a watercolor class at the community center on Thursday nights. I'm building a life that's mine. And some nights when the house is quiet and the kids are asleep, I sit on the back porch with a cup of tea and I think about how close I came to staying. How easy it would have been to pretend I didn't see that Instagram story, to convince myself it was a misunderstanding, to swallow my pain and keep the peace. But I didn't. I chose myself. And that choice saved me. To every woman watching this, if you're in a relationship where you feel small, ignored, taken for granted, please know that your feelings are valid. If you've been lied to, gaslit, manipulated into thinking you're the problem, you're not. If you've sacrificed your career, your body, your dreams, your peace for someone who couldn't even offer you basic honesty and respect, you deserved better. You deserve better. Leaving isn't giving up, it's not failure, it's not selfish. It's self-preservation. It's choosing a future where you're not constantly wondering if you're enough, where you're not scanning Instagram stories for proof of betrayal, where you're not lying awake at night trying to figure out where it all went wrong. You don't owe anyone your pain, you don't owe anyone your silence. And you don't have to set yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. I didn't scream, I didn't beg, I didn't fall apart. I just decided I was worth more than the crumbs he was offering. And I walked away. You can too. It won't be easy, it will hurt. There will be nights when you question everything, when you wonder if you made the right choice, when you miss the life you thought you had. But on the other side of that pain is something incredible. Freedom. The freedom to rebuild, to breathe, to become the woman you were always meant to be before you made yourself smaller for someone else's comfort. I'm 52 years old, I'm starting over, and I've never felt more alive. If I can do it, so can you. You are not too old, it's not too late, you are not alone. And you are so much stronger than you think. Choose yourself. You're worth it.